Happy Friday. We are super excited to continue our series on the fruit of the Spirit. Today we will be reflecting on peace, which we thought was super fitting since today is Good Friday and we have Resurrection Sunday coming up. And peace is a result of what Christ has done for us on the cross at Calvary.
Yeah, when you want to understand peace, it's the first place we look is to the cross. And I think about Romans 5, which is kind of the starting place of peace, where Christ died for his enemies. Peace wasn't this thing that we somehow achieved. It wasn't something that we somehow fought hard enough to get on in ourselves. No, it was totally a gift and totally something that we received. And I think to understand peace, that's the first step, is reading through and reflecting on Romans 5 and understanding that the greatest act of love is when Jesus extended peace to us, when he came and totally and completely paid the price on our behalf. And I think to understand peace, we first have to understand the peace we have with God because of what he did and accomplished on the cross. And then we understand the peace we have from God. And then as a result, we begin to live in peace with one another.
Right. I think it's important in Romans 5 too to remember that key thing of while we were still enemies.
Yeah.
And so we were not pursuing peace with Christ. We were not actively searching for that, but rather it was a gift given to us when we weren't even looking his way. And then we look at John 14 where Jesus says, "My peace I leave with you and my peace I give to you." And so again, it's a gift given to us, not something to achieve on our own or fight for, but rather just to open our hands and receive from Christ as we just get to relish and sit in the goodness of his gospel.
Yeah, and I love that because we've received peace because of what Christ did, and we can rest in that. And then bigger than that, we've received his peace. So it's not like, oh, now you can have some peace. No. He's actually given us his peace. And I love that when we reflect on peace as a fruit of the Spirit, it is something we've received and we can walk in because we have his Spirit. And as a result, that then changes everything. We have peace with God. We have God's peace within us. And now we walk in peace with one another. The writer of Hebrews in Hebrews 12:14 says to strive for peace with everyone. I think about, especially in perspective of the cross, how stupid our conflicts seem with one another. When you think about the depth of what Christ did to give us peace when we were his enemies in Romans 5, to adopt us into his family as children and as family members. And we think about that. We think about what that means for us. And then we think about the silly conflicts we have with one another and how often we can drift away from peace with one another. And the Hebrews writer is saying, strive for peace with everyone. Out of the peace you've received, out of the peace you have, that's Christ's peace, walk in peace with one another. And I think that's such a good reminder today on Good Friday to think about the peace we've received, the peace we have, and now the peace we walk in.
Right. I think a lot of times we've been talking about just with the fruit of the Spirit in general, how that is firstly a reflection, not only as we reflect God's character and goodness and point to him, but it's also a reflection of what he's given us and what he's done for us. And I think peace is definitely one of those that we see that as God has extended peace to us. I think of the song, that lyric that says, "I hear my voice call out among the scoffers." And we think, putting ourselves in perspective is that as we sin, it's the same as nailing him to the cross and casting the stones and being out among those yelling. It's the same thing. And so as we were sinners and as we were there among the scoffers as he was crucified, he still forgave us and he's still given us peace. And so if he's extended that kind of peace to us, then should we not be able to, in our daily interactions in much smaller scales of sin against us, be able to extend peace as well?
Yeah, and so we just really hope to encourage each other to walk in peace today, to reflect on the peace that you have in Christ. That's something that you received, and to just rest in that peace as we think about Good Friday and we think about what Christ accomplished in full on the cross and reflecting on what that means to walk in that freedom with complete peace with God. And then to think about the peace we've received from God, his peace, Jesus's peace in us. And then we encourage one another consistently. Let us walk in peace with each other consistently, reflecting the image of Christ to everyone as we've received peace, have his peace, and walk in peace.